Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be doing an in-depth guide on Viper, which means we're going to be going over all of her abilities, what they actually do and how you're going to use them. And then we're going to be going over the practicality of what role she should be playing on the team, what suits her and what just kind of doesn't suit her. After that we're going to be going into how I use Viper offensively and defensively on bomb sites. And then I'm going to move into how I use Viper as an attacker and the different roles that I play as an attacker for my team. So this video is going to be more basic, broad understanding of Viper and how you should use it, as opposed to the really specific, nitty-gritty, detailed videos that I've been doing in the past. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to check out the other videos if Viper piques your interest. That'll be the previous videos will kind of be the next step. I know I did this out of order, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright guys, first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about her abilities. Her ability 1 is going to be her snake bite. What this does, it creates a pool which slows enemies as they walk through it, and it damages them over time. It doesn't damage you near as much, and it doesn't slow you at all, personally, if you're the one that threw it, right? But as enemies walk through it, it damages them, and it does a significant amount of damage. I'd say it probably takes about 5 seconds to kill somebody, roughly 30 damage a second. So it's one of those things you're probably not going to get kills with it, but it's pretty easy to bank it into a little pocket. That way people either have to rotate around or they can't come through that area unless they just want to take a massive amount of damage. Okay, her Q, her E, and her ultimate are basically all going to be different shapes of each other, right? So her E, you're really not going to do too much damage with this. Actually, they don't do damage at all. Let me rephrase that. What these do is they create a toxin field. And the toxin field drains the enemy's health and armor until it gets to 1/3 of what they originally had, right? So if I started off with 125, I would get down to, bad at math, somewhere around 40 something, right? And I would sit there at that 40 HP until I come out of the smoke. And then it would not immediately, gradually go back up to 100 HP and then 25 shield. Her E does the exact same thing, but it's a really thin wall, right? And her ultimate is going to, if you saw the smoke integrity at the very bottom, her ultimate is literally going to last forever until the smoke integrity bar actually depletes entirely. Once it depletes entirely, it's going to fade away. And all you have to do is step back into the ult for the bar to refill. Her E is going to be a really thin version of that. Just like this, it still decays as people walk through it, but you're not going to get very much decay. This is literally essentially just used as a vision blocker and a zoning thing. So the way I use that is I want to make the enemies come from a funnel through the smoke screen into as many different angles as I could possibly have them walk into, right? So that's the goal for her E. And then the Q is virtually going to be the same thing, but you can really set up choke points where they have to walk through this and it takes a good while. So even if I'm booking it through this, by the time I get to the end, I'm probably at about half the HP that I was initially. So if I poke out, I'm probably pretty close to one shot. But yeah, her Q is going to do essentially the same thing. Okay, now let's go ahead and start talking about Viper's abilities. So her snake bite, this is most used whenever I take an aim battle and I don't quite kill the person, or maybe I see their team getting a little antsy and wanting to push me. Maybe I got low. What I'm going to do is use my snake bite to kind of cut off an area, right? So if they want to push through that, they have to come through the snake bite, essentially. Or maybe I get a guy really low and I see where he retreated off to. I'm going to throw it high and try to bounce it into the angle that he's sitting at, right? Or if I just know a guy's probably sitting right there, I'll bounce that in and wait on him to peek me. That's essentially the way it's just a zoning ability. What you're going to do is you're going to push it to force people out of or not into an area, if that makes sense. Viper's Q is literally just cutting off choke points and securing your escape or push. So if the enemies want to come through A long, they have to walk through this, right? That's simple enough. If I take an aim battle long, right, I can pop back and then pop my Q, and then I have a free way to get away. Or if the enemies come from short and I miss the aim battle, or there's more coming, I can push through this and kind of reset the fight and wait on my teammates to rotate. That's how I use her Q. Okay, now when we're talking about Viper's E, basically what I want to do is force the enemies into a funnel that comes through the curtain into a very open area. That's literally the simplest way I can put it. So if I'm playing B or C or whatever and I manage to get this rotate and my teammate tells me, hey, they're pushing A long, I'm just going to throw my curtain down, pop it. That way, in my mind, I know my teammates have a favorable advantage whenever the enemy tries to push A long. And if the enemy doesn't push A long, I get the early rotate and we have a better chance. Because there's all of these angles looking at the smoke, right? And the only way for the enemies to get through the smoke is to come from right here and push through it, right? This isn't a perfect curtain for short because they have all of these angles to work with. And then they can push on the site and we have to cover a lot of more angles. But if they're coming from long, they can't go through this box because we'll see them. So they literally have to push through this, and we have all of these angles to peek them from. So whenever they're coming out completely blind, and you're forcing them to make an incredible shot, right? Or just be randomly looking at the right area as they come out. That's basically how I use her E. Okay, now Viper's ultimate. I'm going to talk about her ultimate. Okay, now Viper's ultimate. I'm going to try to be brief, but this is the best ultimate in the game, in my opinion. Okay, so Viper's ultimate. This is the best ultimate in the game, in my opinion. I'm going to try to be brief, but there's a lot I can say about it. So basically what you're going to do is every time Viper has her ultimate up, you're going to try to push a bomb site as fast as possible. Right? And if you're playing defender side, you're going to play a bomb site as defensively as possible because you don't want to die whenever you have your ult, right? If I'm playing B and the enemy starts pushing it really hard, I'm just going to fall back, right? Maybe I'll even throw my toxin down right here and just wait. If they decide to start planting, I'm just going to pop my ultimate and get ready for the retake, right? Because if they're inside of my ultimate, they're all going to be one shot, which is essentially a huge advantage for us. And then also if they're inside my ult, I get a red outline of them. Which means as soon as they even become a fraction of visible on my screen, they're easily visible and I can immediately take the shot, right? Whereas they don't get that advantage. It's only me. But what I'm going to do as Viper, we're going to get on site as fast as possible, and then all I want to do is pop my ultimate as soon as possible because her ultimate literally lasts forever. As long as you're inside of the ultimate and the toxicity gauge doesn't deplete, you're going to keep your ultimate up forever. And I'll show you this little trick. Plague Doctor actually told me in the comments, and I had no idea about it. Basically, you can cancel your ult animation by trying to plant the bomb. So as soon as you click to ult, you're going to press forward to plant the spike, right? So the ult starts coming out of me while I'm planting. And basically what you want to do whenever you're ulting is cut off as much of the bomb site as possible, right? You don't want to leave them a weird little outlet to walk through close to the bomb site. You want them to have to walk through a lot, that way they're 1 HP whenever you are taking the angle. And what I do whenever I'm in Viper Ultimate, I'm literally just walking up, checking the sides, and doing it over and over, right? I'll walk up and peek this. As soon as it goes to fog, I'll go back and peek the other side. But that's how I use her ultimate. Okay, now that we've got her abilities out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what role she should play as a team. So Viper, in my opinion, is not an entry fragger. If you're entry fragging as Viper, you're not doing your team justice because all of her abilities are reactivatable, right? Her Q and E, her most important abilities that you're going to be using all the time, are activatable over and over and over. So what I like to do is I'm either playing utility as Viper, or maybe I'm the second guy. So the entry fragger goes in, he dies or wins his aim battle, and I'm just trying to take the trade, right? I'm trying to kill whoever kills my entry fragger. That's what I mean by the second man. And then also you can play Lurker as Viper. I think it works really well because her E has such long range. Right, let me get in the game phase. So you can see just how far Viper ult goes, or Viper E goes. Like literally I can be playing mid, and my team can be pushing A, and they can be telling me, oh, there's a guy rotating from mid. I can throw this and help them out because that guy mid can't do anything for him, right? So even though I'm all the way across the map, I can still help them. Even though she's not the best, like mobility wise, she still has impact on the bomb site from this far away. And then by the time I get to the bomb site, I can just be toggling my E over and over and over and confusing the people also. But yeah, I actually like Viper as a lurker because I played lurker in CSGO. So I kind of like the ability to, I can just be reading the mini map over and over. And if I see a question mark as a shot from a guy rotating from mid, I can just immediately throw that and protect my guys A. So that's why I like Viper as a lurker. But you shouldn't really be playing C long if your team's A. And I wouldn't say Viper should be the operator either, the person with the sniper, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's usually how I like to play Viper as an attacker. I'm usually either playing lurker and watching the mini-map heavily and listening for information, or I'm playing second man, trying to get, you know, the second kill as soon as my entry fragger dies or wins his aim battle. I'm essentially looking for the next guy. Unless my ult's up. If my ult's up is completely different, I'm telling my team, yo, I want to rush a B, I want to rush A, I want to rush C. And I'll be like, I'll smoke off mid doors, let's just all rush B, get on site on left side, and then I'll, you know, curtain off the right side or something like that. But yeah, if I have my ultimate up, I just want to be on site as fast as possible, because if you can get your team on site, pop your ult, you really just don't lose that round for the most part. But if I'm playing defender, it changes, but it stays the same a little bit. So if I have my ultimate up, I'm going to play super passive on the site. Like if this team plays A a lot, I'll probably throw my smoke right there and just let them come up, take my peek angle. If I miss, I'll pop this. And I'll actually just throw my curtain down like that. That way I can play back here and hope that they plant, right? I could actually hold an angle like this and just stop them. If they plant, that's when I'm just going to start popping my ultimate, and then we can take over the entire site. And actually, one thing you can do, you can follow Viper's ultimate out. This catches people off guard sometimes. It's very niche, but you can do it. But that's how I use Viper's ult defensively. I'm playing a super passive angle. I'm essentially baiting the enemy into coming on site to try the plant. And then whenever they go for the plant, I can pop this, and then I can play the most aggressive angles I want. Let my teammates tap the bomb over and over, force them to walk into this. It's literally... It's tough to play around Viper Ultimate if it's not you that popped it, right? If you're not playing Viper, your ultimates, I mean, your health is getting low, you're 1 HP, you don't want to be in that smoke. And that's essentially what I do. I play super passive, let the enemies get on site, and then plant it. Okay, so let's talk about ways to play Viper as a defender if your ultimate's not up. So I know initially I said Viper shouldn't be using the op, the sniper, right? But that's an attacker. If you're playing defender and you don't have your ult up, there's no reason for you not to use an operator. I'm just more of an AK guy myself, or Vandal guy. Yeah, I'm more of a Vandal guy myself. So I'm not really messing with the operator yet. I'll probably get into it, but it's really easy for Viper to control different points. So if I'm using an operator, maybe I'll pop my Q down right there and hopefully leave myself a little bit of an angle to kind of peek through, right? And I can just use this angle as soon as I see a head pop up, take my shot, and then run away, right? So what you're doing, you're just creating really tiny angles for yourself to work with. That way you're essentially taking no risk for all the reward, because as soon as I see somebody cross right there, I can take the shot through the smoke, or, you know, if they sit there, I can obviously kill them. Yeah, operator's great on Viper if you don't have your ultimate up. The way I usually play Viper is I'll have a Vandal or some kind of spray weapon, you know, pick your poison. But I'll usually play pretty proactive. So just like I like to lurk in the past rounds, I remember I showed you guys my mid smoke or my mid curtains in the other video all the way to there, or all the way to the mid boxes. What I do is I try to get ahead of the rotation if I'm not getting much action. So one, you can choke off points, right? So if the other team's playing A lot, you choke off the funnel points and just buy time and take the kills until your teammates get over here. If they're not playing your side, be really proactive, because you have so much range with your curtain. You can really just push up into different angles and use that to stop the enemy from pushing up too fast, and then you can loop around behind them pretty quickly, right? You can stall out from across the map and then really do damage whenever you lurk behind them. So she may not be the fastest person to lurk around to behind the enemies, but she's really good at stopping the enemies from getting forward. So it slows the push, which I think is more effective. If you can slow the push and let your teammates rotate while you're rotating around behind, I think that's more effective than getting around behind them super fast. Okay, so honestly, I think that covers Viper. I talked about how to use all of her abilities, how to play her offensively, defensively, and attacker base, and how to revolve around her ultimate. Other than that, I can't think of too much else I'd need to go over with her. If there's anything I missed, leave them in the comments below. I'll highlight the comments if it's something really important, and if it's a video I need to make, I'm sure I'll do that as well. But yeah, if there's any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. As always, my Twitch is in the description, so if you have any questions, comments, need me to address anything, or just want to check me out, feel free to do that. My next video is coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a beginner guide to Valorant, and then it's going to be the next day is going to be intermediate and then advanced. So we're putting down Viper for a while and moving on to more overall how to get into and be good at Valorant as a whole. So as I'm still learning and trying to be good at Valorant, hopefully I can bring you guys along on that journey. So if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. But otherwise, thanks for stopping by, and have a great day, boys. Peace.
And I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chilling.